Hello, everyone. I am Founding Father Benjamin Franklin, and welcome to the Step Up America Foundation podcast. Join us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we celebrate incredible Americans from all walks of life. You may hear from a NASA astronaut, a professional or amateur athlete, a musician, and of course, current and past military heroes, just to name a few. And who knows, you might even learn a thing or two along the way. Well, that's enough from me. Let me introduce you to our hosts, John McIntosh, Mark Renahan, and Adrian Garcia. Take it away, team!
And we are back with our Wednesday edition of the Step Up America podcast. We had a little bit of a break last week, but now we are back. In the studio with me, we have none other than our incredible engineer, Noah. Noah, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. And zooming in on the road is none other than John. John, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited because it's Wednesday and we have
Hump Day.
The ultimate guest.
That's right. We have also zooming in for the first time ever in the history of our show is the one, the only founding father, Benjamin Franklin.
Well, hello, everyone. Adrian, it is great to see you. I've never seen you out of a classroom. I didn't realize about this radio program. John, it's great to see you, too.
Round of applause.
Nice to meet you, Noah. Thank you. Noah, it is very nice to meet you. I've heard great things about what you do with all the technology. As you know, Noah, as a young man, I was very much into inventions and science, but I didn't have all the things that you have today. But I've been very, very fortunate to be teaching in the schools with these two gentlemen you have on the show with me today, John and Adrian. We have been going into schools. What's that, sir?
The ability to do all of this is thanks to you discovering electricity.
Oh, well, I technically didn't discover it. I actually proved that lightning and electricity were the exact same phenomenon, and I did invent positive and negative charges in electricity. So I helped a lot with it. I don't like to take credit, of course, where it's not due, but I appreciate you having me on this show, on this internet, I believe you've called it. I think that's what we also use in the classroom sometimes, John and Adrian. I believe they call it Zoom or something like that.
Sure is.
It is. Well, anyway, guys, it's good to see you. John, how are you? Adrian, how you doing?
We're doing great, Ben. I apologize. I'm in the car. I had to go pick up my daughter from school today, but
Duty
I'm
calls.
pulled over on the side of the road because I couldn't miss the opportunity to speak with you. And Ben, I just want you to know that we've been telling our listeners all about the Franklin Project now for probably a year and a half. And that's why we're so excited to have you on, because you're going to actually tell them a little bit about the program and how this thing works and how we go in and teach civics and U.S. history and really engage our students.
Well, absolutely, John. I got to tell you, I was a little shocked when you brought me back to go into all of these classrooms, but the children of the United States today are as great as they were when I was a young man. Of course, you all know I am from 1706 when I was born on Milk Street in Boston, Massachusetts. Of course, one of our original 13 colonies. You see, my father had come over from England. He was formerly a blacksmith, but when he arrived in Boston, he decided to get into candle making and soap making. But I spent my time in Boston. Again, in the 1700s, it was a very different time. And when I'm in the classroom with students, as John and Adrian have been so kind to do with me, I get to tell them not only all about myself and some of the things that were going on in the 1700s, but I get to tell them about one of our incredible 16 lessons on United States history, United States civics, our founding fathers, our founding documents, and, of course, my favorite all-time lesson that we're doing tomorrow, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Good citizenship that Adrian and I love to do with our games. John does too. So, John, I got to tell you, it's been a blast doing it with you guys, and I appreciate you bringing me back to meet all these students.
Yeah, so for all of our listeners out there, what actually happens is we bring Benjamin Franklin, just as you see him right here on this podcast, into the classroom. free of charge, and I say free of charge, no strings attached. And Adrian or myself will facilitate the class. Sometimes if the teachers want to get involved, we let them facilitate. But the bottom line is it's an interactive dialogue between Ben Franklin, the students, and whoever is facilitating. And the cool thing about it is every one of our lessons is written by an educator, and we always make sure that it's aligned with state teaching standards. So teachers out there, if you want to get Ben into your classroom, now we're doing it virtually because of the pandemic. So we figured out how to implement Ben Franklin and the Franklin Project through Zoom and Google Classroom, which is super cool. And Ben's tapping his foot because I'm rambling too long. But again, Adrian or Ben, why don't you tell them how they can get involved with us?
Oh, well, it's super
I'm going to let
easy.
Adrian tell you, John. Sorry, Adrian. Go ahead, buddy.
No, you're fine. So it's super easy to get in touch with us. All you have to do is visit our website, which is stepupamericaprogram.org. We have a contact us form there, or you can just email us directly. Our email is info@stepupamericaprogram.org. Trust me, educators, the kids love Ben. They go crazy for him. You will not be disappointed.
Yes, and I was tapping my foot, John. I'm glad that you noticed that. For you educators out there, on occasion, John forgets that this is the Benjamin Franklin Project. So I have to remind him that I am the one who is to tell long, rambling stories, not him. And while we're on the subject of long, rambling stories, did I tell you that it's very nice, I hear, where you are in Florida, and you guys might be doing some swimming soon because of the weather. Well, it's something I bet you might not know about Benjamin Franklin that involves swimming. Two things. Number one, I actually invented swimming fins. That is correct.
Oh, wow.
When I was a very young lad of only 12 years old, I attended the very first public school in the United States of America. Back then it was called the South Grammar School. Today you would know it better as Boston Latin, where I am a member of the Hall of Fame. And after I got out of my classes, I used to go for lawn walks along Boston's Charles River, and I would go swimming. And because I wanted to go faster, I decided to cut some wooden planks into the shape of lily pads, drill some holes into them, and swim across the river. But I also swam even later in life. When I first moved to London, I was stuck there because someone was supposed to send me money to come home with printing supplies. So I had to teach swimming lessons in the famous River Thames in London. So I have a lot to do with London, and I know, John, you and Adrian are based down there in Florida. So that might be one of the stories I would tell your kids, of course, after they went through a fantastic lesson, maybe on the Declaration of Independence, on the Constitutional Convention, maybe the Federalists versus the Anti-Federalists. They're all in there, everybody, and I teach you all about myself, my founding father, friends, and a variety of stories that started our country. They are a ton of fun, and when I finally am done speaking, both Adrian and John, or one or the other, will lead your students through a fantastic worksheet and workshop that goes over the lesson that we just did. And then, of course, the most enjoyable part, for me at least, as I am 315 years old and I get a little tired, is of course the question and answering with the children, where they are allowed to ask Benjamin Franklin, little old me, anything they would like. We of course try to keep it based upon our lesson in history, but when the young kids would like to know if I like pizza, of course Ben Franklin loves pizza. And of course, don't forget, I can always wave to the kids, which is one of the things that makes this thing so incredible, is that Ben can see the children. And until you notice the kids realizing that Ben can see them, it's the greatest. And I usually would sing my pirate song for those of you who are unaware. Blackbeard the pirate was still around when I was young. And when I was only 13 years old and Blackbeard was captured, I, Benjamin Franklin, no middle name in case you were wondering, wrote the song to commemorate his capture. I will not sing it, but I will tell you this much. The kids love the Ben Franklin dance, and I can do it quite well. But I guess I've babbled on enough, John. I'll let you, Adrian, and
you can't see me, but I was tapping my foot, Ben.
Oh, well, I didn't see that, John, so I'm sorry. I apologize.
Hey, Ben, I have two questions for you. Question number one, what age group of students do you go in and visit with?
Well, I'll tell you, John, I actually like to see anyone. And you know what? I don't even just see students. I see adults sometimes too. I have done classes as low as kindergarten, all the way up through senior year in high school. And I know you and I did some seniors in high school, and we were a little nervous going in, of course, because we thought they might not think Benjamin Franklin is as cool as their younger counterparts. But they had a blast. We had an incredible, informative lesson. I assure all you educators that both John and Adrian know their U.S. history incredible. They study very hard before any lesson we have, so they are prepared for any questions. And Benjamin Franklin is Benjamin Franklin and knows all about him. But it is a great experience. And again, kindergarten all the way through 12th, we do it with all of them. We change it up a little bit, of course, between the younger kids and the older kids. But Ben has also been to a trampoline park. And if you have a cocktail party or a big event where you would like Ben to greet people at the door or maybe host trivia for you, you let us know. And you can learn a little U.S. history. I mean, just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we had a fantastic outdoor event for kids where Ben Franklin taught them all about U.S. history, and then WWE superstar Lacey Evans and John and Adrian ran them through obstacle courses outside based upon U.S. history. We all had a blast. The kids all had a blast. So you, again, Adrian will tell you the specifics, or John or myself will, but you really want to get Benjamin Franklin back in the school, especially seeing we are hoping soon that the pandemic is slowly going to get everyone vaccinated and restrictions will be lifted.
Yeah, so like you already mentioned, Ben, so we are definitely not slowing down. Like you said, we have a class tomorrow, so for all our educators out there, please go ahead and put your schedulings in. You know, we can come in virtually, whatever it takes, we'll go ahead and cater to you, for lack of a better explanation.
Hey, Ben, before I let Adrian ask you a couple questions, I have one final question for you, Ben.
Shoot.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Go for it.
This is a difficult one. How much does this program cost to educators?
Well, John, when I first began doing this program, when the week ended, I was expecting a check for my services well into the millions. But unfortunately, when the week came, I looked for my account, and not only did I not get a check, but it turns out I don't even have a bank account because I'm from the 1700s. So it is 100% free. That is right. We come into your classroom for free, and we will not harass you for donations, although we are a 501c3. And if anybody out there would like to give us a donation, we would love to have it. But when we come into the class, we are strictly there to entertain and educate your children through an incredible interactive experience. And I assure you, there is no politics of any kind involved. We don't talk about hot button issues, We just discuss the lesson, and we tell stories about Ben Franklin and the things he may have done or invented when he was a young man and when he was an old man. And just so everyone who is watching may not know a little fact about Ben Franklin, Ben likes to tell adults, not kids, because I think the radio show is more about adults, is that if you are enjoying a delicious cup of Folger's coffee, that is, of course, Folger's coffee that was invented by James Folger, who is the nephew of Abia Folger, who is my mom and came from Nantucket, where she was part of a whaling family. So the next time you sip some Folger's coffee, remember it's one of the descendants of Benjamin Franklin, because quite frankly, I am everywhere. And as I always tell everybody, George Washington was a great man, a great friend, the president of the Constitutional Convention, our first president of the country, and the first general of the Continental Army. However, he is only on the $1 bill, and I am on the 100. And that's because we all know it's all about the Benjamins, baby. Woohoo! All right.
So, hey, Adrian.
Yes, John.
Hey, did you want to break the news to Ben that he's got a partner that's going to be joining him probably within the next couple weeks?
Yes, so Ben, so you have a little bit of competition coming your way. So we are going to be bringing online, hopefully sooner rather than later, Frederick Douglas.
Well, I actually met Frederick recently. He called me up. I did not know Frederick, of course. We are from different times. But he called me up and asked me about the two of you. He said he had been contacted and was, given an offer. And I told him that, well, Frederick, I don't know what they're telling you, but they're not paying me anything. So they just lure you in here, but you get to teach the kids. It would be an absolute honor to have Mr. Douglas, an incredible American and one of the finest orators ever to grace our country, to join me in the classroom. And I am certain that the students would love Frederick. I also heard that down the line we may have a young lady named Sybil Luddington. For those of you who don't know about Sybil, she did the same run that Paul Revere did on his horse, except she did it in Connecticut. Her father, you see, was one of the leaders of the Revolutionary Militia, and the British were attacking his small Connecticut town. So young Sybil was set with the task of riding out into the night and gathering the Connecticut militia to fight back. I'm sorry, the New York militia. I'm losing my marbles. But no, actually, it was both. She went over the lines now that I think about it. But anyway, she didn't get caught. And although we did not defeat the British at that battle, they were repelled and our supplies were kept intact. Just one of the many stories, hopefully not screwed up like I just did, that you will hear from Benjamin Franklin, John, and Adrian throughout your classes. And again, we can do it both in person, and how that works is you will have myself up on the front, either on a huge screen or we will bring a large TV. Adrian or John or both will be in the classroom with you guys. They talk to the students in person. Ben, of course, sees the students from his screen. We have a secret way to do that. We can't tell you, but he gets to see the kids and they all interact together. Again, it is an incredible interactive learning experience. I assure you, we do not discuss politics, again, in any way, shape, or form. We just discuss the Declaration of Independence, things like that. It is a ton of fun, and I assure you, when your kids see Ben Franklin dancing and singing pirate songs after a lesson, they'll remember it. And one thing that John is going to tell you right now is all about what happens to students when they use the Ben Franklin Project, all of the knowledge they retain. John or Adrian, you want to tell them something about that?
Yeah, Ben, apparently you're pretty good at what you do, because we did a case study at a school, and we did some pre-tests before they met Benjamin Franklin, yourself, and then we did some post-tests. And what we found was that the kids' test scores improved at 65%, which is pretty incredible. So not only is Benjamin Franklin very entertaining, but he's also effective in the classroom. So this is going to help your students with the exams at the end of the year. We like to think of it as a field trip that comes to you. So here at Step Up America Foundation, we tip our caps to all of our educators. We know this is a difficult time. So if you need a little bit of a respite and you need here for you, we'll entertain and educate. The coolest part is they're going to retain what they learned, because Ben is highly effective at what he does.
And I'd like to just point out, it's not just me. It's, of course, John and Adrian, who are just as much a part of the lesson as I am. Again, we go back and forth as a team. And one thing we have forgot to mention, we have 16 lessons. You can find them on our website, which is www.stepupamericaprogram.org. But we like to consider ourselves a lot like Burger King, and not just because I have a big gut, but because we will give it to you your way. That is right. As long as it's not, out there, as we will put in some additions. We did a President's Day one. We've done several for September 11th. We will gladly adjust our lesson to, fit your needs, whether you want to teach something specific. Again, Ben isn't that good at math, as everyone knows. Ben hated math when he was a young man. So
you and I both.
Exactly. I can't teach you math, but we can teach you anything about history. And again, Frederick Douglas will be joining us shortly, and he will teach you about history through later dates, where again, we have our teachers working on those lessons. Ben just teaches them. He doesn't work on them, but it is a awesome program. I know across the United States, everyone is just starting to get back into classrooms, just starting to go back to school. If you're looking for something new, something interesting, something that'll really keep your kids' attention, I assure you the Ben Franklin Project is the single most fun project in the United States right now for educating children. And again, check out our lessons on our website. But if you would like to do a different lesson, we will absolutely do that for you. You can contact John or Adrian, and they will take care of that for you.
Most importantly, it is all free, 100% free.
Just like TurboTax, even though I don't know what that is.
Well, actually, TurboTax is costing these days. It's not free.
Yeah, you have to pay after a certain amount of times of doing it free,
right.
but besides the point.
Anyway,
I would not know, as I'm not being paid anything as I come here. I'll be speaking to Frederick, by the way,
Also,
and just
I
so
don't
you
think the
know,
IRS exists
Frederick will
then.
be told that if they're promising you riches, Frederick, I'll even though, John, as you know, I was one of the first celebrities in the United States of America, and I left $1 million to both the city of Boston and the city of Philadelphia, and they cashed that out in 1990. Philadelphia built, of course, an incredible museum dedicated to myself. Boston made the Ben Franklin Institute. And they are both fantastic places. And the Ben Franklin Institute in Boston is where the first fax was ever sent. Kind of a little trivia that not a lot of people know about.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, Ben. Let me ask you something. Would you be willing to come back and join us maybe once a week on the podcast?
I will, John,
that would
but
be
I'll
awesome.
tell you, I will have to start charging you guys. One, I want a cup of coffee every week for my appearances. And number
got
two,
posters.
exactly, good answer. Number two, I have asked both you and Adrian on several occasions to get me some new clothes, new shoes, perhaps get out of this old itchy woolen coat. As you know, I was a icon in France, and I brought fashion back, and I'm positive that wasn't what I was wearing.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm meeting with Anthony tomorrow, Ben, and he might be able to help you out with that.
That would be
right.
great. I would love it if Anthony could fix a few things in
Fresh
my
set of
wardrobe.
clothes.
Maybe what are you thinking? Some Lululemon?
God.
Where are you going with this? What are you wanting, Ben?
I literally don't know what Lululemon is, and
What?
I'm horrified to even look. I was thinking more along the lines of Polo by Ralph Lauren. I'd like a little stylish.
That's old
What is
school,
Lululemon?
man.
Tell me what it is. Why would I know it? No.
It's not a lemon, that's for sure.
A lemon?
It's very expensive activewear. I'll just put it to you that.
Okay. Very expensive activity. Well, I love the great outdoors. I was one of the very first environmentalists, John. As many of you know, I was the first to petition against leather tanneries from emptying their refuse into local rivers. So I am very much an environmentalist. Love the outdoors. So I would love some Lululemon gear. Maybe the next time I do something like map the Gulf Stream to make boat travel faster, which is something else I did, I could wear some Lululemon.
Oh, excellent. Hey, Ben, I want to show you something. Because we're taking precautions because of the pandemic, so we have to wear masks when we're around in public. Can you see this mask or no? Hang on.
Yes,
Oh,
that
look
looks
at
like
that.
a picture of me. Well,
That is
if
you, Ben.
anybody- That's me. My goodness, John. So now not only are you not paying me, you're making money off my likeness. My Lord, that's what's going on here, huh? This place is full-blown racketeering. Anyway, I actually really do like that gator. And for those of you who are out there who are, looking to keep yourself safe during this pandemic, go online to www.stepupamericaprogram.org and get yourself a Ben Franklin mask, a Ben Franklin coffee mug, the first American Ben Franklin t-shirt. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can buy. But for you educators out there, make sure you check out our webpage, www.stepupamericaprogram.org, and find out how you can get me, Benjamin Franklin, dancing for your kids in the classroom. Did you hear of the bloody battle lately fought upon the sea? Sorry, I sang the first line. I actually remember the whole song, and I only wrote it when I was 13.
Oh, wow.
So,
Good memory.
anyway, anything else for us today, boys and girls? Or just boys, actually. No girls on today.
Yep, no girls on today. No, I think I'm good. Do you have anything, Adrian?
No, I'm just looking for tomorrow's presentation. We are going to be in Escambia County, virtually, of course, so very much just looking forward to that.
Yes, I will see you tomorrow morning, both Adrian and John, for it's a good citizenship one, if I recall.
Yes, our favorite one.
Oh, my absolute
best one,
favorite.
actually.
So I look forward to that. I'll see you boys in the morning. And Noah, it was a pleasure to meet you, sir. I seldom get to meet fellow men who know about technology and science like myself. So it is an honor and a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Hopefully you're able to come back next week.
Well, next week I think I'm on the road doing something, but the following week I will be back, I promise. And maybe
All right,
tomorrow,
looking
you never
forward to
know.
it.
I'm all over the place.
Also excited to meet Frederick Douglas, but I don't think I could have both of you on here. The temporal dilation would
We'll figure it out. No,
Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's still to be determined.
wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
What?
No, I guarantee you, I have a trick up my sleeve, Noah. We'll make it work, so.
All
right, gentlemen. As always, thank you so much for joining us today. And Ben, do you want to sign us off, my friend?
I will, as I like to say, be kind to others and you're being best to yourself. So I hope you all have a fantastic afternoon. And one more time, www.stepupamericaprogram.org. And you can find out all the information on the incredible Ben Franklin Project. Bye, everybody, and have a great day.
right, Ben. See you later.
See you later, guys.
Bye, y'all. Be safe.